What up, nerds?
What?
Look at that. Which one is the real Chad?
I feel like
I got
this one
double
has a
vision. Oh,
This one has a degree.
Is
Shut
it
up,
third
nerd.
degree?
Yeah, right.
he looks kind of studious.
I've never had an oil portrait.
Oh,
someday.
I'm the millionaire with oil portraits.
Of myself.
I'm so rich I can afford to call them portrait.
Yeah, I got portraits out the ass.
This is why we need money.
Oh, but the plaque on my Jersey Shore painting will say, "Where's the beach?"
Hey, everybody. It is Aaron Christensen of Horror 101 with Dr. AC, and this is Streaming and Screaming, and my co-hosts are Chad the Bird.
Brandon Bird, that's the name of the painter I was thinking of.
And Lucy
I can't
Ball.
believe that skipped my brain.
I'm calling bullshit. I don't think his name is Brandon Bird.
Google it right now.
I'm
Brandon
not
Bird,
gonna do
Twilight at
that.
the
I'm not
Magic
gonna do
Hour.
that. I'm just
Yeah,
the
you're-
burden of proof is on you. I'm not the one making bold
That's
and
true.
outrageous
I shouldn't
claims.
have. Okay, that's right. I'm going to find it right now. Hold on.
Meanwhile, back at the show, we'll be talking about In a Violent Nature
Ah!
2024, Hellhole from 2024, and then
Ah.
our double feature from the way back is The Lift and its remake, Down, aka The Shaft, both of which were directed by Dick Maas.
Dick Maas!
You're telling me Dick Moss directed Down the Shaft?
Happy,
Yep. Yes, he
Happy
did.
Dickmas, everyone.
He
Wow.
remade his own movie and upped the stupid part, and it was awesome.
I
Which
just
is
feel like
kind of king shit, really. Like that,
that's goated. I have a feeling he was hanging out with his like producer, and they were like, "Hey, man, Dick Moss, Down the Shaft," and he was like, "Perfect print."
He's like, yeah, what more do you need?
There's the painting I was talking about.
That's
It's called
beautiful.
"Prelude to the Magic Hour" by
and I'll
Brandon
be
Bird.
damned. His name is Brandon Bird.
Yeah, I can't
I
believe I
guess I'm
forgot
the
that.
asshole here.
Let us dive in with In a Violent Nature, which
Ah!
is getting so much yammer and chat and buzz.
Lot of
And I'm
Tik- lot of
curious to hear
TikToks.
what y'all thought of In a Violent Nature, directed by Chris Nash.
You go.
Oh,
first.
me? Okay, I'll go first. I kind of loved it. I kind of loved it a lot. I do think it suffered from what pretty much every really good horror movie of the past like handful of years has suffered, and it's the internet hype machine.
Sure.
It definitely got, because it was very good, it got a lot of deserved praise. But to get clicks, you got to really amp up everything. So I feel like it got presented to me in a not so honest nature. But on watching the film, I did really like it. Some of those kills are some of the coolest things
Yep,
I've seen in a horror film in a long time. And yeah, I really loved the ending. I thought the ending was like a perfect illustration of what the movie was trying to say without beating you over the head with it and explaining it in some weird voiceover or something. It just lets you sit with it, and I like that.
Well, and basically how it's pitched is that it's a slasher film, but kind of, and this is where I think it's incorrect, is I've been hearing that it's presented from the viewpoint of the killer. And that's not what you're seeing at all. It's not the POV of the killer. You're not, you're basically kind of stuck to the killer. Like the cameraman is stuck to the killer, and you're following him for the most part. But I think even within that, I think it's really a nice spin on the slasher mythos. I'd heard the hype, and then I'd also heard oh my God, there's so much walking. So I feel like I was coming at it from a pretty balanced point of view, and I also really enjoyed it. But I think that helped to have my expectations managed prior to sitting down with it on Shudder. Chad?
I thought it was fine. That's my review.
It was fine.
When it was over, I was like, okay, that was fine.
How was it while you were watching it?
While I was watching it, I was just like, do something. And then something would happen. I was like, damn, okay.
Wow, you listened. Okay.
It's pretty interactive.
Sorry, I didn't mean to yell. That's what I felt like. I was like, I didn't mean that. Oh, okay. All right. You can hear me. I agree. Like, I think the movie wanted to say it was like, this is from the killer's perspective, but it really wasn't. It
Right.
was just like you were on the killer's perspective. It was like that movie, What was that one that's like a Hardcore Henry?
Hardcore Henry, sure.
Yeah, it
Oh,
kind of
wow,
reminds
yeah.
me of that, like experiment. Like it's a great experiment.
Yep.
And I thought that there were some legitimately scary moments, but then it would get like Woman in the Pond. That whole situation I thought was legit.
We'll be talking spoilers. So
okay, we will be.
Here we
talking
go.
Spoilers. I don't know if that's even a spoiler. There's some
No, I'm
women
just
and there's a
saying,
pond.
now you can
stuff
feel free to
happens.
spoil.
Yeah, now
Okay.
you can give the details.
I
yeah.
don't even know if it's that much of a shocker to anyone watching this movie that there's two girls, one of them goes swimming, and bad things happen in the woods. But like, yeah, I just felt like all the really cool shit was like dwarfed by like the goofy stuff, and I was confused where this movie wanted to go. Because like when they like the kills that happen are insane.
Yep.
And then like the actual tension was good.
Yes.
And then I was like, yeah, but I'm not really learning anything by being stuccoed and Velcroed to the back of this killer. I'm just like, you're not really opening my mind to this. Like it's not the conceit was not needed, but it was welcomed.
Okay.
So I would even say I could have dealt with being Velcroed and stuccoed to the back of the killer more. Because
Yeah.
from the get-go, I didn't think I saw a lot of people saying from the perspective of the killer or from the killer's point of view.
Right.
And from what little I had gleaned, I understood going in that it was more like it focuses more on where the killer is than being a true perspective, a point of view piece. But I still think they gave a lot of screen time to our cannon fodder.
Yeah.
And I would have much preferred maybe if we were just stuck to him with a GoPro.
It would have been
Like
a bolder experiment.
Right, exactly.
And you know, if you pick up the little pieces of exposition of what they're doing from him creeping around in the bushes or whatever, I understand you can't just, make a very expensive movie and do that. But I thought it would be pretty neat if they did.
And when they did do that, I thought it was really fucking cool.
Yeah,
because
I
I
wish
was like,
they had
oh,
committed to that, because we kept getting like we would cut away and have our humans. I suppose he's human as well, but like have our vacationers and getting up close and personal with them. And I'm kind of like, that's kind of cheating.
Yeah.
I feel like actually, if this is going to be your conceit, stick with it, because I feel like you can do this. Like I was trusting this filmmaker, and I felt like he kind of took his hand off the wheel a couple times, like went, let's make it a little bit easier for the audience. And I'm like, no, come on, just do it.
We're mature. We can handle it, filmmaker. There was that one moment where he had spoilers, by the way. There's that one moment where he had the like memory of his past in the mirror, like a 90s CD-ROM point and click cutscene, where I was like, I was really kind of hoping that would be the whole movie, because then I would like learn a little bit about this character.
Yep.
But instead, they kind of passed the buck over to that forest ranger guy who was like supposed to be old and grizzled, but he was like 26. And
what the hell? That guy clearly was supposed to be the old ranger. And
when he was just like, I was there 10 years ago, I was like, were you? I don't know, man. I don't think you had your license 10 years ago.
What are you talking about? He was totally driving. He was totally driving back then.
Yeah, right. Back in the day. But like, it just didn't make any sense to me that like you're gonna tell this story, because like the beginning is really dope. I love the intro of the character. I think the mythos was kind of cool.
Yep.
And I just kind of like was on it and writing the movie with these guys. But then every now and then they'd be like, we don't care. We just want to do something cool. And I was like, yeah, okay, you can also do that.
Yep.
But like, really bear down though. I agree with Aaron. Like, bear down. Just make it be. That's it. Like, we don't really get to know these characters outside of the killer's perspective and have more introspective moments.
But I also thought it was interesting. Go ahead, Lucy. Go ahead.
I was just to be devil's advocate.
When are you?
Never mind.
You're always working.
Yeah. I'm a very busy man. What can I say? But I wonder if the idea from the beginning wasn't too fully like embrace that and go whole hog into barely any interaction with the survivor types until they're being turned into putty.
Yep.
But it may have gotten focus group to death.
I felt
production.
that too.
That was sort of my. I can't say for sure that's what happened, but that was sort of my thought. Was I wondered how much of that was the idea from the get-go and how much was whoever's bankrolling the picture being like, they hate it. You got to tell them what's going on.
Well, I was pleased that we didn't have any music throughout. And they do actually have some jump cuts. I mean, we are walking with our guy and they keep jumping forward. So I feel like this is an intelligently made film. And even if it didn't commit wholly to the conceit, I like the fact that we don't have any music. All the kill scenes are really dragged out. Like, there's not any jump scares, because basically we're walking with him up to the victims, and then he does some really horrible things to them. Somebody had told me there's a kill in here that you will not forget, and I was like, there's a couple of kills in here that I was going to say,
because all of TikTok was a Twitter. That's weird. That's a weird
hold on.
X. Anyway, that like was all like in the biz about the yoga kill.
Yeah.
And I thought that one was the least interesting, even though it was amazing.
Oh, come on.
No, because hear me out.
Oh, he is hipster Chad.
I'm wearing my hipster gear. I thought that's what we were doing. I thought we were in on this.
Yeah, that kill was okay, but it's sort of,
I thought we were actualing. Isn't that not the name of the show?
Oh, that's a good show. We should do that.
It is a good show.
Can we call it Hell Actually?
Hell,
all right,
that would be like Love Actually or something.
Oh yeah, I guess so. No, but like I thought the most interesting kill, because I couldn't figure out how they did it, was spoilers, where the like 30 going on 80-year-old forest ranger is beheaded by the wood chopper.
That
I
was
was
amazing.
just like, how the fuck did you do that? Like, I got the like yoga kill because I was like, okay, well that's hilarious and I had a great time. But like that one was like, I rewound it and watched it like 3 times because I couldn't find the cut.
They got Steven Kostanski in there to oversee the special effects, and
I am
because
a Kostanski stan.
Our guy Chris Nash he is a makeup effects artist, and so but yeah, Kostanski apparently stepped in and was kind of overseeing the visual effects here. So
outstanding.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
And I was busting your tiny feathered balls about it, but that was
I didn't pay you anything.
No, well, not yet anyway.
Dinner.
But that was absolutely my favorite kill in the film. And I felt like it illustrated the larger point of the movie like really well, because this guy is powerless and has to watch the slow creeping onslaught of death and has nothing he can do about it. And I thought that was just like poetry in a gruesome scene there.
Well, there was a lot of that in the movie where like we were just like walking on the killer's shoulders, and it was like, this is poetic and I think very artistic. And then they would do some Evil Dead shit, and I was like, you don't need to do that. Like, it is cool, thank you, but it's not like necessary. You have a really good movie going here.
And it's gorgeously shot.
It's
like,
so pretty.
The time we spend going through the forest and hearing the sounds, I was like, this is Terrence Malick, territory. And then we have some awesome, and I love the fact that like they don't showcase all of the kills. Like you were talking about the woman in the pond. I mean, that happens from a distance.
Oh my God, that scene was
and
so
you're
good.
You're kind of like, well, what happened there? Okay, all right.
A+, because like it's the shot where you see them in the foreground, in the background, and then you see our guy go under the water, and you never see him come up to do anything. You don't know where he's at in space. You just know he's in there, and then you know it's coming. And when it does, you're like, yeah, but like that's the whole movie, is that we know it's coming. And there was just something really visceral and like animalistic about that.
Well, and up until that point,
like the most descriptors I'm going to use all day.
It has only been like these kind of like far away stuff, and then we get the yoga kill next. So just when people are getting pissed off and be like, "Are we never going to get anything?" Like he gives you,
your Mortal Kombat moment.
Here's
guys.
your Terrifier 2.
But yeah, and first off, Chad, he was not in space. He was in a lake. So, of course, you're not going to know where he's in space. He's not there.
See, I was upside down on the couch.
Oh, that makes sense. But I think there was something so, like, powerful about not having that, like, flat on display that way. Like, the way it just sort of happens. It kind of felt like a live leak video that was really well choreographed.
I also thought their makeup effects in general were really good.
Agreed.
Like, I really don't want to spoil anything because there's like only 3 really great spoiler moments in this movie. But that particular shot, when you see the thing that you didn't expect to see, I was like, damn, that's really good.
And then just last thing is the final like 10 minutes of the movie. Again, I'm kind of like, wow,
Yeah.
like you have me. Like, and some people I know have been disappointed by the ending, but I thought it was exactly right. It was
Yep.
exactly right for this movie.
True horror.
I was totally tense,
Yep.
and then credits rolled, and I went, nicely done.
Yeah, I really thought they stuck the landing on this one, which is like the reason it's going to gain a few stars in my final review. Because like when this showed like it was like this is like Texas Chainsaw good right here. Like this is right in that Toby Hooper, like it might be handheld, it might not be kind of vibe, and I felt like they crushed it. And so I was like, that should have been the whole vibe.
Yeah, the ending made the whole movie for me, honestly. And those people who don't like the ending because, quote unquote, nothing happened, I call them Philistines and cowards.
Yeah, you
Because
heard him. Throw stones.
Yeah, I'm all about it. But yeah, I really, it made the whole rest of the movie win me over entirely that they went for such a bold choice there.
Well, and I went back, and our actress who is driving the truck, she is one of the unfortunate victims from Friday the 13th Part 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Hell yeah.
Little deep dive there for the fans.
That whole movie smelled like wet grass after a rainstorm, which is so poetic. I want to do shrooms about it. So I just thought I love that particular amount of vibe.
After all that poetry, I still want a star review. How many out of 5?
For me,
Yeah.
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5?
You
What?
heard me. Because I'm not going to rewatch it. I'll have it on the background with the sound off just for fun at a Halloween party. But like next time, go in or don't. Go hog or go home.
Okay.
I don't get to be selective. The last couple of these, I've been like 5 out of 5. I love it. Shut up. I'm going to do it tonight. I'm going to get serious tonight.
All right.
Wow, look at him go. I'd give it a solid 3.75.
Yeah.
Okay. If it had gone all the way there with some of the things, it would definitely be in 4 territory, maybe even a little higher. But yeah, with it as it is, I think it's a great movie. I think it was a very thought-provoking and interesting movie. I wouldn't just recommend it to any old buddy walking down the street.
Right.
It's for a specific crowd, I think.
Yup.
Yeah. I would say that's right where I would land, that 3.5 to 4 stars out of 5, because I think it's trying to do something really different. I think it is doing something really different, and I wish it had gone 100%.
Yeah.
But I feel like slasher fans, I think, are going to enjoy it because they know this territory and they've not seen it told from this point of view before.
I think it really depends on the slasher fan. I think if you're, how do I say this without being mean to people?
How is that even possible? You're literally a demon.
I'm a nice little guy
That's
sometimes,
true.
but I think there are certain types of slasher fans who will be disappointed, annoyed, and put off with the sort of relative pinky in the air this movie has in comparison to a lot of other slasher films that type of person might enjoy.
Yeah, I felt like this movie was a steak on a cake. Like humans love steak, humans love cake. I don't know if they go well together. Like you're either going to go hardcore pinky in the air, filmy with it, which I think you should because I thought you were killing it, or you're going to go super fun, gross, spaghetti at the wall kind of shit, which they did. And I just think that took me out, which is weird because I always love that.
Well, see, it's funny. I was going to go the other metaphor, which is, Wolfgang Puck throwing, like sauerkraut and, cumin into a burger.
Call back!
And you're like, that, some people want just a burger. They don't want you fucking with their burger.
Yeah, man, the menu. Just make me a burger, Ray Fiennes.
Give me some blue cheese, caramelized onions, and sauerkraut all day. I'm taking it. Yeah.
100%. All right, let's move on to Hellhole from 2024.
Speaking of sauerkraut.
And that is
burgers.
from the Adams Family, which I always love saying. They did The Deeper You Dig and Hellbender last year or the year before. And what did we think of Hellhole? Who picked this one, by the way?
This was mine. Yeah.
Okay.
What did I think of Hellhole? I liked it. I thought it was cool. I thought it was fun. It wasn't what I expected it to be, and I didn't really expect it to be anything. I saw a scene on Twitter and was like, well, that looks fun and it's new. I'll check it out. And yeah, for a sort of brief sum up, there's a fracking site in Serbia run by Americans, worked by Serbians. And they dig up a 18th century French guy with some awful parasite. And hilarity ensues.
Because this one definitely has some smatterings of The Thing.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. It had a whole lot of The Thing. It was like, oh my God, it was like the bastard child of The Thing and The Office.
Okay, yeah, and like a little bit of Basket Case woven in there.
Totally, yeah. And I do gotta hand it to him. The rubber creature was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like that it was very clearly just sort of moved around on a string in a few places. We need more of that in movies,
Yes,
I think.
please.
There was a lot of CGI, I thought I would have liked more rubber monster.
Yeah, totally. But hey,
again, lean into how dumb it is.
But hey, Cairo corn syrup is expensive these days. We got to throw that. We got to throw the After Effects blood splashes on screen sometimes.
Yep. Chad, what are your thoughts?
I agree. I was like into it. I thought there was a lot of like chow mein thrown at the screen, which I was not mad about. A lot of noodles, a lot of goo. But then like there was this goofy rubber monster that I'm always fucking into. But like again, another movie where it was like, I want to do this and we're doing this instead. And I was like, where are we landing here, man? And I think this movie qualifies as tentacle porn. So I feel like that gave it an extra ups with me because I was like, oh, well, in the great annals of
nice
of that genre, I feel like this one sticks in there a little bit and doesn't let go.
Come on.
Grips.
I could have done with a little more. I don't want to say that.
You do want to say it.
I could have done with it being a little more porny of a tentacle porn.
Thank you.
I
don't think it went hard enough.
And I don't know.
I see what you did there.
You heard what I said.
I did.
Hey, with
Al
enough
dente.
With enough KY, anything is possible, I suppose. But I don't want to come off like I'm trashing the thing because one, I suggested it, and two, I did like it.
I also had a good time.
But, yeah.
I wish there was more to like actually say about it.
Yeah, exactly. It felt thin. It felt like kind of black and white newspapery, and I was like, well, that's it. That's the whole movie. We're done.
Do we feel like, because I was like, the metaphor of them, because part of the deal is you have to incubate this creature. And the fact that they were like, no, you have to keep this, you have to keep it inside of you until we say it's okay.
Yeah.
And
There
I'm
was
like,
it was subtle, Doc.
The pro-choice message was very, very clear.
Yeah.
But like, it was also like pro-choice messaging 101. Like, I don't think many people are going to watch that movie and be like, you know what? I really considered it from that point of view.
Well, that's funny. It's funny because I was like I feel like they were hitting us over the head pretty hard. And my wife was like, well, some people need to be hit over the head pretty hard.
It's true. It's true. It's like the same thing with the Barbie movie, right? How everybody sort of came out online and was like, oh, it's feminism 101. We know this already. Not everybody does know this stuff.
Yeah, some people need an ovipositor in their butthole to learn that, like, hey, maybe women deserve the right to control their own bodies.
I mean, I just need one to have a good Saturday night. But that too. But yeah, like I do understand that there are people out there who may not have considered these things from anything more than a few seconds worth of thought.
Right.
And there needs to be things that communicate to them too. But I did find myself like screaming at the TV. Yes, I understand. I'm with you. I get it. This is fucked. Yes, I understand.
Literally. Was it the police chief in Thor Ragnarok? Wasn't one of the actors in that movie? Like they've worked with Taika Waititi before.
I don't know the answer.
I'm going to Google it while you're talking.
Good. Well, while you're Googling, I'm going to mention the fact that Toby Poser is our co-director, and she is married to John Adams, who is the other director.
Oh.
And they all appear in the movie, as they have appeared in most of their movies. And that's why it's an Adams family film, which makes me laugh.
Nice.
And you got to cut costs somehow.
I think Toby Poser's the one I'm thinking of.
She's the lead.
Oh, okay.
Did you guys see Hellbender?
No,
I
I
watched
didn't.
about 30 minutes of it, I think.
Okay.
Was that because you ran out of gas, or it ran out of gas on you?
Little A, little B, you
Okay.
know. Yeah.
I
I
like
will
that
give
one.
it another chance. I will
Yeah, I
give it
would
another
say-
chance because the premise is very cool.
Stay the course on that one. It pays off. I haven't
Yeah.
seen The Deeper You Dig yet, but it's on
That's
my
the
list.
one that I have heard about. Is the deeper you dig?
Yeah, that
No,
was
I'm
their-
sorry. It was Where the Devil Roams. Is the one I've heard.
Right, and that's their most recent one, I think.
Okay.
Before this one.
I was wrong. She is not in Thor Ragnarok.
Nope, she's too busy doing her own movies.
Yeah, I love this
Wow.
independent thing. I love that most of these things we've been rocking have been kind of indie films. It's been a
Yep.
real trip, like just seeing like, hey man, if you have the budget, you have the time, and you have the care, you can make a good movie. And I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't feel ripped off after having watched it. I did think it was good. Yeah, I didn't feel like it gave me a lot to say. I was like, yeah, pro-choice messages are important.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah. The creature was cool. Yeah. And that was kind of all I had. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
then
like-
it kind of delivers what you're, like what you want in a creature feature. It's like, hey,
Yeah,
it's a thing that's in somebody and it goes into somebody else and it goes into somebody else and it's just traveling from host to host. I thought the splatter was pretty good for a lot of the effects.
It was late night takeout. I was
Yeah.
like, it's good. It's fine. I don't know if it's good for me, but I don't care. It was what I needed in the moment.
Yep.
Definitely recommend it. Give it a shot. Yeah.
and it's an excellent popcorn munching movie. Like,
Agreed.
yeah.
And clearly low budget, as In a Violent Nature was as well. So I'm pleased with what we got from both of these independent ventures. What would be our star rating for Hellhole?
I'll go 3 on this one because it wasn't bad.
Yep.
It wasn't bad. It didn't have a very big effect on me. And I would show it to people. I'd be like, oh yeah, this will be fun. Check this out.
If In a Violent Nature was takeout pizza, then this movie, Hellhole, would be takeout like burritos at 2 a.m. where it's not bad. I don't know if I would recommend you do it all the time, but it is fun in the moment. I'm also going to go 3.
All right. I'm going to go 3, and I would never call In a Violent Nature takeout pizza.
Yeah, I would say In a Violent Nature is like moderately priced sit down restaurant Stonefire pizza.
Sure.
Interesting. Okay.
And then I would say,
Well, you're in
Hellhole-
California. Your pizza selection is low. We're in Chicago. You heard me, and I stand by it.
I mean,
I've been raked across the coals on the internet. I'm going to keep it coming.
I mean, we got burritos. So
Okay,
I would say that's what I would put In a Violent Nature at, and I would put Hellhole at like an Applebee's.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's solid,
Yeah.
solid fare.
Yeah,
I
you're
can see
you're
that.
not
It's like
gonna
Poppers.
be Papa's.
You heard what I said.
Jalapeno poppers.
It's a jalapeno. Poppers.
Different
It was
kind
a
of
double
Papa's.
entendre.
Sorry.
I win again.
Sorry. What? I mean, I do have to get a man's arm in me all the time. We talked about this.
We did.
I know a thing or two about my amyl nitrates. Okay, let's be for real.
Also, I love that it was called a hellhole, and the whole time I was like, I see what we're doing.
Yeah. And then let's jump into the Wayback Machine, because this was my pick, was The Lift, 1983. And then because I'd seen this one before. It is a film from the Netherlands. It is from writer-director Dick Maas, who is like the Netherlands
Dick
version
Maas!
of John Carpenter, because he writes, he directs, he does the music. And because I had a little extra time, I watched his remake from 2001, which is called Down, aka The Shaft, which I'd completely ignored because it looked like crap. You're remaking your own movie. It's Naomi Watts before she blew up, so clearly it's not very good. They buried it, and all of which to say, I didn't watch it for years and years and years, and I finally decided to watch it because we were going to be talking about The Lift, and holy crap, I had such a good time.
What a trip that movie
I
was.
texted you guys. I was like, I'm sorry, we have to delay the show
Yeah.
until you guys have seen this movie. So what were your thoughts on The Lift and The Shaft?
I've got a lot of thoughts on The Shaft, buddy. Yeah,
Go
I've got
on.
a lot of thoughts on The Shaft. I'm more of a glands guy personally, but
These are the jokes, people.
Now people are Googling.
Yeah. Glands deference. Anyway, so I'm not gonna lie to you. I did not
Please
finish
don't.
The Lift. I got a pretty good chunk of the way in there, and I could not do it any further. Because I think you guys, when we were talking privately about it, I think you both summed it up really well in that it is wildly entertaining and funny, but they don't really know it.
Well, it's
At
a
least-
killer elevator movie.
Yeah.
I mean, we should say that like both of these are about a killer
Oh
elevator.
yeah, if you don't think
Yeah.
there was killer elevators in these movies, then you're not understanding the title, guys.
Then, buddy, you are
Get
mistaken.
ready.
And yeah, I think the first one plays Killer Elevator just a little too straight.
It plays it straight. Exactly. It's kind of like, oh, you're making a killer elevator movie. Well, it's not going to be the joke that you think it is. And I give
Yeah,
him
Mom, it's serious and cool.
I give him credit for
Elevators
having
can be
played it straight.
scary.
But then he goes, oh, that's right. It's a killer elevator movie. When 2001 rolls around, he's like, let's have some fun with this killer elevator premise. And he does.
Oh boy, did they ever. Yeah.
I do believe the text message back and forth was, oh, they didn't skimp on the ham.
No.
It is ham loaded like a deli sandwich in like a famous New York deli. There is too much ham. You're going to have to split it in half.
But yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, you're gonna have to like
premise is that you
push
got
it
this-
into the bottom of the hoagie roll and stuff.
It is an
premise
au
is that you
jus.
got this tall building. You got an elevator that starts going on the fritz and people start dying. That's the same premise for both films, but the tone is so completely different. As we've alluded, he plays it pretty straight. We get to learn a lot about this elevator repairman and his private life and his, interactions with his wife. And, I'm just like, you know what? I don't know that we need all that. We got a killer elevator to deal with.
And then the remake is still 2 hours long.
It
Yes.
felt like 2 hours.
It sure did. I had a lot of fun, but it definitely felt like the runtime. And good Lord, the main man, the guy in there.
Which
it's like
one? 2001 or the
2001. Yeah.
James
original?
Marshall.
James Marshall?
Yeah, and
Are you mean like fucking Twin Peaks? James Hurley?
Yep.
And well, he acted as if you had pulled his lines straight out of I Am Very Badass 101.
Yeah,
Um,
because he's James Hurley from Twin Peaks, whose whole vibe is that.
I guess that's a pretty fair
He's
point.
a surf guitar with a jacket.
Whoa.
And he is
How does
not,
he
he's
eat
not
food?
ever a tough guy,
No,
but he wants to be.
but they tell us he is.
Yeah, and you just sort of go with it. And now Naomi Watts.
Heard of her.
Why do I know that name? I'm being so
Mulholland-
for real.
Okay, Mulholland Drive.
Yeah,
Okay,
this,
got it.
Like a
Mulholland
breakout.
Drive came out the same year.
Yeah,
Whoa,
2001.
okay.
But like you had mentioned earlier, Doc, that
Yep.
this was like her big coming out party, and I'm like, yeah, I guess we knew her name, but we must not forget that she was in Matinee with John Goodman, which is one of
Yes.
my top 10 favorite movies.
She's also in one of the
Okay.
Children of the Corn.
She is The Gathering, I believe, and then she's also in Tank Girl.
Yes, she is.
Jet Girl.
Jet
in
Girl.
Tank
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's why I know her. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Now we're talking.
But
And
she
then
was,
she gets into Dangerous Beauty. She's in Babe Pig in the City. She's one of the voices.
Yep.
Like I wrote all this down because it was like, holy shit, Naomi Watts has always been there before Mulholland Drive.
Yep.
And then you know her from The Ring is where everybody
well,
is.
right. I mean, Mulholland Drive led to The Ring, and then she became Naomi Watts.
Right.
I couldn't remember if it was The Ring or The Grudge. I was like, I remembered it was one of those Japanese movies.
But
that
I
got
think she's doing an
Americanized.
amazing job of
She is.
being in a bad movie.
Yep.
Like she recognizes that she's got terrible lines to say, and she just says them.
Dude,
I
there
mean,
are
she
so
was in
many
Tank Girl.
actors. There are so many actors in this movie. It's
Yes.
next level wild. Michael Ironside,
When I
James
s-
Marshall, Naomi Watts, fucking what's his
Ron
name? Ike
Perlman.
Right, Perlman's in it. Ike Barinholtz is in this movie. Like it is next level bizarre. How
Dan
many are in this
Hedaya.
movie? Dan Hedaya, yeah, and then like
Yep.
what's his name? The guy that runs the like CEO guy.
Oh,
he's
Edward Herman.
Yeah, that guy. It's like everyone's
From
in this
Lost
fucking
Boys.
movie. It's next level wild.
Yep. And there are some amazing moments in both films, but
Sure.
I especially like in Down, aka The Shaft, where we've got our skater who like gets sucked into an elevator. Oh man, which I've been singing
And
all
there's
day.
so much fucking hard rock in that movie.
It was 2001.
Yeah.
We had Affliction T-shirts and.
How
Ed
about the opening
Hardy
scene
jeans.
with like the everybody giving birth in the elevator? Like what the hell?
Okay, so all right, so I loved The Lift. I thought that the original was really fun.
Yes.
And I thought that it was really dark and fucked up, and I had a great time because it was real cheesy
Yep.
and like super like Pizza Hut pizza. 13-year-old humans going like, oh my God, boobs, Tales from the Crypt level, ridiculous. And then I saw the 2001. And I think these two movies back to back should be taught in courses
Yes.
about like what American remakes of foreign films look like. Because I was like, this is a joke. Like as soon as it started, I was like, this is a Ben Stiller routine.
Yeah, they're
like it is
having a good
so
time.
cliched.
Yep.
And like
cliched?
Oh, in the best ways. Like
Okay.
it was like the lightning, the hard music at the beginning. It was like the music from Speed at the beginning of this movie. It was so I was like, okay, what's up, 2001?
Yep.
It did make me feel like I was queuing up for the Tower of Terror.
Yeah,
So
totally.
I gotta hand it to it there.
Let's talk about the scene where the bottom falls out of the elevator because that was so hilarious and awesome.
I laughed so loud. I thought my neighbors were going to knock on my door and wonder what the fuck was going on. And I was like, I don't have the heart to tell you. This movie, the end of Down was so fucking bonkers that I think that should just be a movie ending that you put on for someone. And then when it's over, be like, okay, explain to me what this movie's about.
What do you think happened
What
here?
do you think just
That's
happened?
a fun party game.
I think we
like
should do that.
That's
I
a
think we should
good
do that for
idea.
Halloween.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
The last 10 minutes of a horror movie and be like, okay, what do you think
What do you
happened?
think just happened?
I like that. It's kind of fun. Oh,
I sat
ideas,
there
man.
the whole ending and being like, if I just woke up in this moment, I'd be like, what the actual fucking, please write more.
Oh, I remembered what I was going to say. I liked that even though this is the American remake, it's
Which is
fully-
weird to say because it's the same director.
Yeah, but even though this one is tooled for an American audience and
100%.
it's all like originally in English, it still sounds like everyone speaks English as a second language.
I was
Just
so
because
confused.
how the dialogue is structured.
I
It's
was so
very cool.
confused about the script. It was very confusing to me.
And the weird ways they all talk about porno films and it was just so weird.
Oh, I hate, and everybody's accent in that movie was like,
Yeah.
hey, yeah, we're from New York, I think.
I felt like I was
the
at-
streets.
I felt like I was at a family reunion. It was crazy.
Now, have either of you seen Amsterdammed?
No, but that's a great title.
Okay, it is a great title. It's also written and directed by Dick Maas. It is a slasher film that is set in the canals of Amsterdam, where the killer, get this, dresses up in a wetsuit and disappears into the canals, comes up, kills people, goes back into the canals. It's on Shudder, and you all should watch it.
Oh my
Everybody
God.
who's watching this right now should watch Amsterdam.
Why have we just been learning about Dick Maas? I feel like he is the canon films of what is he? Is he Danish? Is it Denmark?
The Netherlands, so whatever that
Netherlands.
means.
General area. Yeah.
Dutch, yeah.
He is the Dutch canon films.
Yep.
Also, his name is Dick Maas. Also,
Yep.
happy Dickmas, everyone.
And if you are recently learning about Dick Maas, please go speak to your doctor about some penicillin. It'll clear it right up.
I feel bad for Dick Maas because he's probably had to deal with that his entire life.
His parents must have hated his fucking guts.
Disagree because he's from the Netherlands and he's like, I don't know why you guys are
What are
making
you
fun of my
saying?
name. It just means it means Dick. It means Dick Universe. I don't know. I don't actually speak
Yeah,
Danish.
I do like to think he
It's
talks like
Dutch. It's not Danish.
You don't know.
I do know,
Okay,
actually.
it's Dutch.
but
Does anyone have a Danish?
I could go for a
I
cream
could
cheese
go for a
Danish right
Danish,
now. It
yeah.
sounds so
Crueler.
Let's do that.
good. But I do like to think Dick Maas just talks like Hercule Poirot. That's just my little headcanon.
I
What do
feel
we-
like he had the best time making the American movie.
Yeah. I
Like
felt
everyone was having a blast, even when they were saying really fucked up shit.
and
to
I will
each
say
other.
that I don't think The Lift or The Shaft are particularly like great movies, but I think watching them back to back, kind of like we were talking about the other ones, it's a great experiment to like watch here's this version, here's this version, and to watch how things morph in translation and over time. Unfortunately, the reason, in addition to it being kind of a B movie, the reason it died is because it came out when September of 2001.
Yup.
Come on.
And we can't be
man.
talking about terrorism in tall buildings in New York.
Especially the amount of
Oh,
Desert
and-
Storm conversations they have in this movie,
Yep.
and the amount of
Oh,
time they
yeah.
talk about
Yep.
the Arabs,
Yep.
and they
And
say
we
and the
were gonna-
Iraqis.
Peek behind the curtain. We were gonna be recording this on September 11th.
Yeah, we were. Just
Yep.
FYI.
Oh, I was watching it on September 11th, and I was like, "Uh-oh,
Yep.
this
Wait a
this
minute.
feels a little dark here." All right. In the interest of time, let's do our quick rating for this one.
Lucy, you first. I always like to hear you.
2.5. 2.5.
Interesting for
We're
both.
down.
Well, I would say 2.5 for the lift, 2.75 for down, rounding them out to I can't do math, but
Don't
we'll
do it.
say sort of 2.8, maybe 3 for the whole package.
All right, Chad.
Okay, I'm gonna go 3 for the lift, even though I liked it more. And I'm gonna go 3.5 for down because it was a fun fucking ride.
Yep.
And I laughed the whole time. Is it good? No. Is it great? Maybe. I don't know.
Nope.
So-
I concur.
So what's your culinary measurement for
Oh, if
this
this
one?
was food, okay. All right. Well, I agree with your original assessment that the Violent Nature could not be considered pizza. So let's go. All right. So Violent Nature.
It could be pizza. It's just not Little Caesars.
It's not
you
Little
know?
Caesars. Okay. If it's
With,
pizza,
like, capers in it.
yeah. Okay. So it's wood oven pizza, and then what was the second movie we watched?
You can do it, buddy. You can do
I
it.
can do it.
Hellhole.
Don't
Hellhole.
look it up. Don't look it up.
Hellhole.
Hellhole. It was in the butt. It was in the butt with a tentacle.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was,
you would remember that part.
yeah, that's the only part I remember. That's an Applebee's. This one to me was like, this was a Fazoli's. This was like almost food, but like, did the trick. Like,
Midwesterner, explain Fazoli's.
Fazoli's is Italian McDonald's.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
I would never compare this to Fazoli.
do they have a nice cannoli?
They do. The Fazoli cannoli is not bad. Hear me out. Fazoli's is good in a pinch, but I would never recommend you have it.
Oh.
These movies were very Taco Bell. I think that's more apt for Down the Shaft is very Taco
Down
Bell.
the shaft.
Down the Shaft. But like the original one, The Lift, I feel like that was like a cookie. It was like a cookie that I didn't know what it was made of. There was like licorice and salt in it, and I was like, I don't understand this.
Yeah, one
they're
of
like,
those
that's a
weird old
delicacy.
world cookies.
Yeah. That's what The Lift felt like, but like Down the Shaft, definitely Taco Bell.
All right. That was super fun. Thank you for delaying and not recording on September 11th.
Yeah, because we never forget.
Because I wanted us to be able to talk about both of those in tandem, and that was super fun. And we'll be back again with some more movies real soon. And until next time, keep searching, keep exploring, and keep sharing.
Sharing the scare.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.